has since it became the OSS in 1947, just a few days after Roswell. Isn't that right, Bernie? What's up?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was actually 3 days after Roswell that the CIA was created. And you look up many of the people who are top echelon people in the CIA, and many of them went to Yale University. There's a few others that went to other universities and got inducted into operations through one other way of employment or another or connection. But there's a number of universities that do this and have pipelines, and there's a number of universities that the CIA go to and will use to
Stanford, one
recruit.
of them, I think.
They'll go there and recruit potential prospects out of. So in any case, it's really interesting that both George H.W. Bush and his son were members of the Skull and Bones Society, for presidents, people who go on to run the country and stuff. So the power of these organizations should never be underestimated or overlooked. So that's why I was just like, it's 3:22. I wasn't going to do a stream, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to throw it up. We're going to go live because it's been a while and we got a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on. These people have smuggled drugs in this country. They were directly linked to, Alfonso Calero and Oliver North, the CIA cell that smuggled massive amounts of cocaine into the U.S. I saw today that the FBI had posted, this obituary. They honored Special Agent Charles Leo Reed, who died on this day in 1996 from gunshot wounds received during a gunfight with a suspected drug dealer. What happened is that he got too close to CIA agency operations while investigating narcotics for the FBI, and he got killed, but basically by our own government, fighting what they told him was a worthwhile cause. So anyone who works for the FBI, you may not see it because of the position that you're in your family and your pension and your future and all that kind of stuff, which you may think matters to you as an employee for working for such an agency. And I hope that the people who've been hired to investigate us, we've had some recent run-ins with some people who were working for us, who we believe are working for these very types of agencies, and may have gone and run to them to share information. And so anyone who's now looking into the research that we're putting out there and what we're doing with disclosure, just know that we are on the right side of history and you are not. And if you work for these people, you could end up like Charles Leo Reed, chasing dragons, imaginary demons that these people convince you that exist, when in reality, your bosses, the people you work for, are the damn drug dealers that you're chasing. They're the very people that are smuggling more cocaine into this country than you could ever stop in your lifetime. They're ruining more people's lives with drugs and than you could ever possibly do. Like, you look at the cities. There's videos online. I don't even know if I want to start playing them.
It's disgusting.
Where they do the
collapsing
drive-thrus,
society.
like parts of Philadelphia, with all the. We've lost the war on drugs. We lost it a long time ago. If anyone who's seen those videos of the Detroit, Chicago, Philadelphia, all our major cities, I even see it around here. Not so much in Boston. They really cleaned up the big, some of the big cities and stuff where all the real financial crime happens. But it's in these suburb cities like Brockton, New Bedford, up in Massachusetts, man, Hartford, Connecticut, man, it's drugs won the war on drugs, man. I'm sorry. We've lost. We lost a long time ago, especially when it came out, years ago with Michael Rupert and Terry Reed and Gary Webb and numbers of others who tried to expose this to a greater media. It never really took on and got serious within our within the government. And we still blindly fight this war on drugs, which has been a total failure, resulting in agents like this, who believed in what he was doing for the FBI. So if you work for the FBI, you're doing the wrong thing, and you could end up dying for a cause that's worthless. You're chasing demons which aren't real. You're chasing, and you're working for people who are the worst possible scum on this planet. And if you had any dignity, honor, or decency in your body, you would investigate those people and expose them, like Louis Freeh, and former FBI directors that have been super in on all this corruption within our government. And you know what? It's going to get to the point. And what happens when society like completely loses all faith in the illusion of government, and we realize that it's all just like a complete fraud, and society breaks down and nobody trusts the police or the system anymore? You get what you have in Haiti, which I don't know if you've seen the videos of what's happening in Haiti. But they basically, in Haiti, they overthrew all the prisons and let everyone out, and all the gangs are running the country. And so, that we're like very close to that happening here, except that, we have much more money that's been spent on the infrastructure. We have much better riot control technologies and weapons with the, directed energy, LRAD technology and all that crazy stuff. So I don't know, man. It's a crazy world here to think that what if that could happen here, but
it's getting close, that border, right? You let in so many illegals, so many criminals, and advertise that, hey, we'll take your dumpster trash of like criminals, empty your jails and send them here, and we'll take them in. Like, you're asking for a disaster.
Yeah, the border crisis, man. I mean, you can just see the videos of what's going on at the border. It's there's people just pouring over with like massive holes in the border. They got all kinds of, there could be a million spies that just entered the country through these gaping holes, and we have no idea. And and then the what happened in Moscow too is people are thinking that it's. Of course, I'm glad that people are questioning what happened. I haven't seen the evidence of what happened in the Moscow theater. I guess there's some hostage crisis.
Right, just disgusting.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But I don't know. I don't know what's going on worldwide. We're on the verge of World War III with Russia. Nuclear. Nukes is a very real possibility, I'm just worried, like these people, and then everyone's like saying the other psyop too is what the heck is going on with this whole UFO business, right? There was a UFO rally in DC today, and I don't know what these people were asking for, but they had just pictures of, David Grush, and pictures of the witnesses and stuff, these 40 witnesses, which are still unnamed, these supposed whistleblowers that have, yet to come forward. We've had numerous whistleblowers come forward on here doing the whole catastrophic disclosure live process. And just through the last several years, I've had, we had Eric, Eric Heckler came. He broke his silence on my show, watching my show. He just jumped on one of these live streams one day and was like, "Dude, I worked in Antarctica on this ice cube neutrino detector thing, and I'll tell you, it's reversible. It could be used as a phased array antenna system." And you look at the design of this thing, and his story checks out in a lot of ways.
Right, we need to get him back together with Dutch Synth so they can hash out the evidence that they both have of that
Yes, dude. What the fuck, man? When is that going to happen? That needed to happen like a year ago.
I know, poor Dutch. Like it's like his record with forecasting earthquakes is so good because he actually uses this scientific model he's come up with that the government had to label him as basically witchcraft for how he was able to predict them.
And then we got to find like his biggest debunker and see what that.
Yeah, they literally have to now. They just cut his internet. He's not unable to stream anymore. He's been unable to do his forecast for months now. It's horrible.
That's crazy, man. It's the censorship, I feel, is going to crack down even harder on us, man. So we have like a limited amount of time to get as much new information out as possible. One of the things I want to talk about is I've been dealing with this whole idea that, you know, why are freaking UFOs shaped like symbols? You know, like drum cymbals are designed to have resonance and to have a lot of, you know, vibrational resonance in them.
Oh, that's a very good point right there.
And I was looking at, I've been doing a lot of research since that Charles Bueller presentation from the NASA scientist that came forward on APEC there and talked about all the technology that he was working on. We're trying to rebuild his device there that was presented at that APEC conference, right? And so I've been doing a lot of research into triboelectric materials. And so for people who don't know what triboelectric materials are, it's basically like the physical motion of these things rubbing on one another will naturally deposit. Like one material will attract positive, will lose electrons, and one material will gain electrons. Certain materials gain electrons better, and certain materials lose electrons better. And when you rub those two types of oppositely polarized types of materials against each other, the physical motion and action of the rubbing creates a depositing of charge. And this is like the basis of how a Van de Graaff generator works. They take two of these types of opposite materials and they run a ribbon around it in a continuous loop. So it's constantly sucking it off the charge and depositing it on the sphere on the top. In a Van de Graaff. Yeah, Van der Graaff generator. Oh, is that a band?
And that's a lot. Also, what Michael Schratt was saying when he was on last, and part of what his investigations went into with this. Right?
Well, he was saying is these things look like these super high electrostatic devices of some kind. You know, it looks like these things generate like super high static on the surface of it, and then somehow it uses that charge to maneuver around and stuff. I thought it was really weird. Hey man, Solar, I emailed you that, and I posted the link here for people to join. So these triboelectric, yeah, well, this is the idea is that you could power things with the idea is that you could power stuff with these triboelectric thin films. And so they were looking at, oh, you have this clothing with these two layers, these smart textiles, which will rub against each other. And then they create like this autonomous power supply. So you can, anytime you wanted to charge up, you could just sit there and rub this thing on, and it would charge up the battery. It would charge up the materials like a battery. And it turns out, you know, like Teflon, PVC, and silicone have acrylic plastic wrap, polyurethane, polyester. These types of things have a really negative. But on the other side, you take like cat fur, rabbit fur. I think they have rabbit fur up here on the top of these all over the place, and I don't know why. I mean, obviously these are probably, dude, I'm not fucking ignoring you. I have to do a show here, and I sent you the fucking.
No, he's saying that there's something else going on or something that people are the Panama Canal.
I gave you the link to join, man. Yeah. You're not on the show, dude. Either get on the show and talk, or like, you know, like I can't sit here and read the. of paragraphs and paragraphs of chat, dude. China owns everything. They're buying up all the farmland too, man. The shipping lanes and the farmland. Yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on, dude. Okay. I don't know why you're getting so mad and yelling in all caps, dude. I sent you the email. I'll send it again. Solar Marshal 2020. There it is. Here it is. Once again, I posted it live already. You know, I don't know what's going on with you, man, but I'm talking about these triboelectric thin films, and you have one material that's made out of like Teflon fibers or silicone fibers or PVC fibers or something, and you have the other material made of like rabbit fur or even just human hair. You just have a cap that you rub on your head, So rabbit fur is above human hair, but I don't know why he says human skin is above rabbit fur. That's even weirder.
Oh, that is weird.
But so I don't know. I want to try out all these things, and we're going to test them in the lab and do our own tests with a multimeter and all that. And but the triboelectric effect will create this, generating layer, charge collecting layer, trapping layer, and a generating layer.
Jeremy, can you hear me? Oh, guys, listen, you guys have got to listen to something that obviously you guys have not heard. The most horrific story out there possible, and I've been going over it for the past 3 or 4 days now, man. The Panama Canal is getting ready to be replaced. China has invested big time money into this. Mexico is cutting a river across Mexico. The Panama Canal is going to be eliminated. It's known as it's got a number of names, but it's known as the, hold on a minute here, the Interoceanic Corridor in Mexico. You will no longer need the Panama Canal. This thing is huge. It's going to cost $40 billion. The Chinese are paying for it. They've been working on it. I saw Danny Jones had a guy on that talked all about it, man. And then there's a couple other shows that had people on talking about it. It blew my mind, Jeremy. You are not going to believe what's going on. You know what happens if the Panama Canal is gone, right? That's our trade route. People don't understand how important that is. They can strangle us on trade is what will happen. And this will be way more fast.
It's already happening with the Red Sea, though, with the Houthis and shutting down the Suez Canal.
That's over on the eastern. That's over on the east.
Well,
we got to worry about the west right now, the Pacific Ocean.
So this is good because this is reassuring because there's always this question of do they have alien technology? Do the Chinese are they flying these Tic Tacs out there?
Well, here's the thing, Jeremy. Here's the thing. Listen to me, guys. They are the ones that are responsible. And if you look at this as a whole, they're the ones responsible for this whole shift of aliens. When I say aliens, I'm talking about people, if you will, foreigners, poor foreigners that believe that they're being brought here for jobs and all that stuff. They're the ones that are they're influxing this country with people and they're destroying it one person at a time. These people have no idea what's going on, most of them, except for they're bringing in military-age male Chinese. 3,000 a day, the guy said, have been coming across the border. 3,000 Chinese, and they said there's hundreds of them a day that are special forces. What the fuck are they doing coming here? Well, they claim they're scared and they're looking for asylum. Well, there's big problems, man, going on right now. And if you don't believe me, look into it. There's been a number of shows that are showing it.
Yeah, we always thought it would be like Red Dawn, they'd be coming down in parachutes while we're all at school, and but like
no, they did it by infiltrating the easiest thing they ever did. Dude was infiltrating the school. Well, they infiltrated our schools, for goodness sakes. What's that guy's name? Yuri Gagarin or whatever? Or he's the one back in the 70s said that when we infiltrate, you'll never even know it hit you. He was right. I'm sorry, he was right. It's unbelievable. It's awful, guys. I can't believe what's going on, and it makes me sick to think about it here.
Well, that's why we need to break through technology and to get this abundant energy and anti-gravity.
This country's really losing, guys. It's bad, and I honestly have no clue what we're going to do. I mean, let's say Trump gets back in office, right? So that's going to piss off. It's going to cause like a civil war around here. It's going to cause all these freaky, crazy liberals to come out and start yelling and screaming again. What do we do? What do we do at that point? I don't know.
Sit back and watch libs of TikTok, right?
That's what people did the last time during the damn pandemic, and it ruined the country. It ruined a lot of small business. Now, I don't know of anybody that personally lost their business, but I do know people that, they suffered for a long time, and I don't know, they were given these ridiculous loans, and some of them paid them back, some of them didn't. Around here, it put a lot of food businesses out of business. But Jeremy, what on earth is going to fucking happen, dude? You went to school. Didn't you take actuarial science? I don't think there's anything you can do. I really don't. Is there anything that can be done, Jeremy?
If they build this canal?
Well, period, against this problem we're having with the Chinese.
To save society and prevent the collapse of the Western world.
Well, yeah, I mean, look what they're doing. What they've done, they're doing it from the inside structurally. It's unbelievable, dude, what they're doing. They are destroying this country, man, and they're doing a damn good job of it.
Yeah, this is nuts, dude. I don't know what's going to happen, man. This is like all mountain terrain, but if they have a whole map, route mapped out through this mess.
Bernie, didn't you have a guy on last night that was talking about this interoceanic thing down there in Mexico, where they're building those bridges and shit down there, or building a river that goes away across Mexico down there, so to eliminate the canal, the Panama Canal? Didn't you have a guy on last night talking about this? I swear you did.
No.
Yeah.
We had the Mexican Uparts guy that digs down.
Towards the end, you had him on, man. Maybe it was 2 nights ago, because last night you had Walter Bosley on.
Walter Bosley, yeah.
Okay. A couple nights prior to that, you had this guy on talking about this, I think. The one guy I saw talking about it was, I'm trying to remember his name. You bring him up, he'll be online talking about it. It's incredible what he said. It's not incredible. Actually, it's horrifying. Everyone that listened to it was ready to vomit because it's happening. They're building it right now. He went down and filmed evidence. I can't think of his damn name. He was on, I'm trying to figure out what show he was on. He was on, damn it, man. He went and filmed all of it, dude. And it wasn't InfoWars, dude.
Was it Brett Weinstein?
I think it might have been Joe Rogan. Hold on a minute here, because he's on YouTube again, isn't he?
We got to get updated versions of Google. I mean, it's going to take years to build it. So, I mean, how long did the Panama Canal
take? Dude, no. It ain't going to take years at all, man. They're talking about 11 months, 10 months, and it's done. Jeremy, look up.
They're going to tear through all kinds of stuff. I mean, look at this. It's just.
That's
$40 billion. It's the interoceanic something or whatever, and they're also making a corridor that goes from the bottom of South America to the top of Alaska for all these migrants to walk straight through, man. There's I-69 or something they call it, man. I shit you not. Oh. I-69 is the name of the road. They're going to make a road that goes the whole way to the top of Alaska if they want to go to it, man. From the bottom of South America, I shit you not, man. This is all new, too. Yep. There is the most insane stuff going on I've ever heard of, seen. I just can't freaking believe it, what's going on. I just can't. I can't believe any of it.
Yeah.
So it's a canal that's going to cut straight through the Gulf of Mexico right here.
Yes. Mexico, now, there's a drawing of it.
There. Okay.
Yep. It's what is it?
Panama Canal down here.
Yep, that's exactly where it's going, Jeremy. And they said that you will never need the Panama Canal ever again after this.
Really?
Yeah, this is going to be way better. The Panama Canal is dangerous. It's not too wide. This thing is going to be like 5 times wider. It's much deeper. You can literally pass on each side. I mean, dude, it is going to be mayhem. Okay, total fucking mayhem. It's going to make Mexico's, what they do with goods and stuff now is going to be 10, 20 fold. You're going to be Mexico's going to become a major player with this thing. You understand?
Yeah.
Mexico can do all the business they want, and they have plenty of people to do it. And maybe this is what that piece of shit El Chapo has been yelling about.
This kind of sounds like Mexico's going to be needing some democracy intervention pretty soon if this actually goes through.
Yeah, like us going to war with them. Maybe it's already under. Maybe this invasion is a plan, so we do go to war with them. I mean, did you ever think about that?
You see this, guys? You know what these are, right? These are step locks.
Yep. The boat gets in there and goes up. They flood it out, and then they can lift it up, right?
So there's all these bodies at different. Like they got to get in here and go on. This is not a good one. This is not a good one. I want one that shows like it has the whole map in the upper corner, and it shows like the.
Okay. What does it do? Lift the boat up, Jeremy, so you can do maintenance on the boat, or what?
It shows because there's a lake and they have to go up. Yeah, so the Guan Lake is an animation of it. Someone put
God, that's incredible.
Someone animated the whole animation, and then they showed the video too side by side. It was really good.
Check that out, man.
But yeah, there's Gatun Lake and Miraflores Lake, and then the Pacific Ocean, which are and the Atlantic and Pacific are like.
I'd love to own some land down along there right now and just fucking open a sub shop up, man. Imagine the money you could make. You know, open a food shop up down around that. The Tartarians built. Okay, I haven't heard about the Tartarians.
I'm sure that was a joke. The Tartarians built it with UFOs.
I've heard about the Tartarians. It's been a long time since I've dealt with Tartarians. Tartarians are ancient. Do you talk about them, Burn?
Yeah, from time to time. I
love the Tartarian talk.
The Siberian areas, though, right? Like the Northeast Asia. That's
strange, being that you live right below the southern portion of your side of the Tartarians, which would be the west side of the Tartarians, right?
Yeah.
That's interesting, man, because I've seen you wearing stuff that looked like it was Tartarian already, like old stuff. Thought maybe you knew about them.
Well, a little bit, time to time. Done a few.
I'll have to listen to you talk about them. I didn't know you did. I didn't know you dealt with the Tartarians. That's pretty cool.
That's all Andreas's stuff, man.
Is it? Yeah, the old stuff. I was going to say, Jeremy, this whole thing, I mean, you didn't know anything about this. So what do you think about this, Jeremy? What's going on? You're partially into like architecture and, you know, it's a waste. And what is it? This stuff is going to reshape everything, right? I mean, this is crazy, man.
This could crash the U.S. dollar as the reserve currency potentially.
There it is. This is how they do it, man. The water fills up in each one of those things at the dam. It's like a waterfall dam. They had to dig and build all these things in order to make the whole route possible. Because they float you on this big lake through the whole middle of it. And I think some of these lakes are even artificial. It's like they made them like reservoirs by blocking up rivers.
Right, so a lot of work.
Wow.
Oh, they got to move tons and tons of land, but it's crazy because this is what humans do, man. The entire city of Boston, I was, showing old maps the other day, and it used to be an island, and they literally filled in the whole city. They filled in like all this swampland with dirt. and made Boston, the whole city of Boston's like made like that, and pretty much half the country of Denmark, I mean not Denmark, Netherlands is like that.
Yeah.
So then you finally come out the Panama Canal and you're on the Pacific Ocean, but this is the lake. This is Lake Gatun. This is Lake Gatun.
Wow.
Look at all the shipping vessels out on the lake. There's like tons of them.
That's beautiful, man. I don't see, guys, is it like England there or something, Burn, that you don't see much sunlight up there? Or is it? It always looks gloomy up there, bro.
It's dark usually in Canada.
Oh, because it's like daylight. It's in the middle of the night there, but it's not. I see.
Right, but now we're at the equinox. Happy equinox, everyone, by the way. So now it's going to be extra light. Getting to, by June, it'll be like midnight by the time the sun sets. It's crazy. Well, 11:30.
So now you're going to start going to bed, and it's going to be bright out, and there's nothing you can do about it?
Exactly. Birds chirping and all.
Well, that sucks. Can't you get Xanax or something from your doctor? I'm serious.
Oh, well, then you'd have an entire nation of Canadians doped out. So we just deal with it with dark blinds. Dark blinds.
How the hell, dude? Wait a minute here. How in the hell are you supposed to get sleep if it's bright outside? I don't know, man. That just freaks me out. I don't know.
They were talking about this. They were talking about this the other day. Then lack of truck drivers. They're trying to build robots. That's what Elon wants to do. Is he wants to build robots to drive all the trucks and replace all the like truck drivers with these robot trucks that will drive all their cargo.
They took our gerbs.
Yeah, for real. That's I don't know, man. It's kind of crazy. He sees it though. It needs to be the future, though. And I'd rather. Nobody wants to drive a truck for a job, man. It's not a good job.
No.
Yeah, my friend does it, and he literally calls me every day to try to pass the time for like 2 to 3 hours while he's on the highway. It's
right.
It's a boring job.
And then your ass turns to like, you just get a big ass because you're sitting on it all day. There's no way, like, yeah, they're even hiring criminals to run the trucking companies too, like freaking.
Yeah, I remember that one time they could not get, what's his name was it John? No, what's his name? They were trying to get him to come back, and he wouldn't come back. He wouldn't come back. I can't remember the story. There's been so many mob stories and stuff. Now the big thing is Vince McMahon's out there, the wrestling guy. I mean, it just never stops. There's always somebody in trouble over something crazy. I mean, it's just nuts, but yeah,
circus media. That's why we're here trying to find the real science, the real facts, and what's actually going on in our reality.
Yeah. Well, what is going on in ufology, Jeremy? We can go over that, and you can give your opinion, and I can give you mine on some of the stuff. I have some out there opinions, but I've been able to talk to some people that claim to be on the inside, just as you do. What do you think's going on, dude?
Well, I got some new stuff recently, right? So I all the science that they've come out with has been this layered bismuth material, right? Which supposedly came from a UFO. It came from
that came from Annie Jacobs, right?
Well, some guy that said his father worked on UFO crash retrieval programs on a crash site near Socorro, New Mexico, and in White Sands or somewhere out there. So he worked on a UFO crash site. This was the material that he recovered. He pocketed a bunch of it, gave it to his son. His son was listening to Art Bell on Coast to Coast one night. Decided to mail the material into Art Bell. Art Bell got the material. Somehow it wound up in the property of Linda Moulton Howe. And then Tom DeLonge bought it off Linda Moulton Howe for like $35,000.
Right. That's the stuff. That's the same stuff. Absolutely. And I'm telling you,
I'm just giving the chain of custody for this whole stuff about the whole story behind it. And then apparently they tested it and found that they have these layers of bismuth and magnesium, and
wow.
And it turns out that a guy named Victor Podolsky,
yep.
He did a study on these materials, and he published a paper on it where they took a layer of bismuth and I don't know if it was layers of, I think it was magnesium that they used, was the
yep.
or bismuth. I gotta look up the paper again. So Victor Podolsky.
It was really thin, the stuff, right? Real thin stuff, right?
It's called terahertz.
Yeah, well, real thin, brother.
But basically what they did, and I have the I posted this on Twitter. If you guys go on my Twitter, right? So if you go on my Twitter, I posted this the other day, and it will go on my profile and go to media and find this book. So in Secrets of Anti-Gravity Propulsion, the book by Paul Laviolette, right? This book was published in 2008, and it has all this stuff in it. I didn't even know that. I didn't even remember reading this when, I read this book years ago. I read it in like 2009 and did a report on it. But like, there's so much stuff in there. I didn't really absorb everything that was in it, at the time. But I reread this, and he talks about a 5,000 gigahertz microwave beam was found to refract negatively when shined at the material, and it was shown to exhibit negative refraction between 53 to 63 micron wavelengths. The bismuth exhibited a negative index of refraction. So it's bismuth. It was bismuth. So bismuth is this really weird metal, and when you put it in thin layers between other metals like magnesium, right? I don't know if he used magnesium inside the paper. I have to read this again, but it creates this waveguide, which is a metamaterial for these wavelengths of these frequencies, which is crazy. So if you zap this, you get this metal, and the wavelengths. If you get the wavelengths to vary, I don't know if the wavelengths stay the same in this material, if they change, but I really think that material is something potentially interesting. It still could be. So I haven't ruled that out completely. A lot of this stuff has turned out to be like bullshit and fake, and people don't know what the deal is. But so we're trying to get a source of magnesium, we need to find an alloy of magnesium. There's tons of magnesium alloys, and we need to find an alloy of magnesium, which is just magnesium and zinc. No aluminum. So a lot of them have aluminum content. We want one that's about approximately 3% zinc, 97% magnesium with about 3% zinc, because that's what was reported in their sample. So we want to try to replicate this material. We've been already experimenting with ways to layer bismuth onto magnesium strips. So we've taken strips of magnesium, and we've vapor deposited and also chemically deposited bismuth onto the layers to create replicate this material. So we're working on that currently in the lab, and hopefully we can hash this whole thing out. But I thought that was amazing. Sometimes it's just luck, dude. It's not brains, because it's dude, I'm really I feel I'm dumb as hell when it comes to this stuff, and I'm trying to sort through it and figure it out as best I can. And I'm just interviewing all these super smart guys and going with what they say, and hoping that some of the stuff sticks, and that they're not wrong or feeding us crap. So it just so happened I got lucky and happened to open up the book the other day, and I opened to that page, and I was like, hey, that's like the layered material. And I was like, oh my God, it's in this book from 2008. That's 10 years before TTSA came out, right? That's like the New York Times article came out in 2017, and then TTSA, I think, came forward in October 2018. So that's 10 years. That's 10 years prior to the whole disclosure, bro. Which is crazy.
So what's going on there?
Yeah, so what's going on there? It's all the stuff that Put Off and them came out with was stuff that was already covered in these old texts and by guys that we've interviewed on this channel. And then the weirdest thing is what's going on with Paul LaViolette, because he was on to all this crazy stuff 10 years ago. And then when we interviewed him right before he died,
he didn't know nothing. He said
he didn't know anything, and he sat there and basically made a fool out of like the whole. He I don't know if he was paid to do that or what, man.
You're fucking right. He was.
I missed that one.
Oh my God, dude. It was he bombed so badly. He like did the worst job possible on all this stuff.
He tried to make others look bad, and he did a good job of it.
It was bad. It was bad. You're just like, what a way to go out, man. Like, you wrote this awesome book that like revealed all this stuff, and then like in the Q&A, I asked him like questions about certain things, man, and I didn't know about this, man. I wish I had more better questions to ask him at the time, man. I wish I had like really gone over this book again with a fine-tooth comb. I would have found this, but we we're all so busy with everything and all the work, so it's just, and then life in general. So it's hard, man. So yeah, Skull and Bones Day. Welcome to the party, guys. 322.
Yeah, he had no clue what was going on.
Definitely a special day. There's something magical about that number. For some reason, that's whole secret society worships that number. Awesome. Thank you for the $10 super chat, Tiki 71. What do you know about Alfred O'Donnell of EG&G? Annie Jacobson just told Lex Friedman he was the source for all the Soviet Roswell info on Stalin's false flag war of the world's chaos plan. He sounds like a Richard Doty type character, so I'm not really too sure about him. It's like, where did this guy come from? And, what else has he disclosed? So, I'll have to look into Alfred O'Donnell a little bit deeper. That was I didn't watch that interview yet, so that's key that someone already has and parsed some of the key intel out of it for me already, so that I can get to the key pieces to dig into. That's good. Thank you for that. I'll have to write that name down. Alfred O'Donnell, EG&G. Interesting. Oral history interview.
Yeah.
Dr. Herbert Greer. That's a different spelling.
Well, the reason why is he says there at the very end, he says here that he himself will give you any information that you want about Greer, and I think he's full of shit. And I didn't know that there were a lot of people in that video towards the end not being able to talk. Your voice sounds identical to Greer's there at the end, and just the way you speak sounds like him, because your voice is shot from talking all day. And it says on the back how much you guys have talked. It's in the thousands of words. Each guy, it's thousands and thousands of words.
Public opinion on atomic testing, the transition from atmospheric testing to underground testing. Yeah, man, it's crazy how what these guys did for the government, man, with the bombs and everything. Like, these guys are fucking idiots, to be honest with you, man. Like, a lot of them, like, they're just dumbass, greedy morons who friggin' went along with the government's destroying and destruction of the planet for like the Cold War, man. It was just like,
yeah,
man.
I mean, those guys were just sitting there, and they were just like,
smart in some ways, but man, at the same time, it's like you can be so smart but still be a goddamn fucking
dumb, right?
Freaking like, tool. A tool. It's basically, you're a tool. It's like, yeah, you're super smart. You can, different tools do different things, and they don't ask questions. They just do. And that's how you know you're a tool. You don't ask why before you do it. So anyways, yeah, these guys, well, great, man. It's like, they did some horrible things, but I have to look into this guy a little bit more, and I'll have to listen to that part in the Annie Jacobson interview with Lex there. I'm still waiting for Lex to get me on the podcast. I got a couple podcasts coming up. Danny Jones wants to get me back down.
Yeah, concrete.
Yeah, man, I told him I just been so busy with actually doing work that I really want to come on when I have something like good to promote, and I want to get the store like really worked on with some more products and things that we're trying to get out here. We're gonna make replication of this this layered nano bismuth material. We're gonna replicate it in our lab and sell samples of it so that people can run these tests. And we're going to try to build different ones to test different frequency, wavelength guides. And it almost looks like there's different layers of different other stuff in here that break off and do different things. So it's a curious material. And then it looks like there's a completely different layer on the very surface of it, So I don't know. I'm still not convinced by the Metabunk and Mick West explanation that it's slag from a manufacturing process of some kind. Although they showed some similar pieces of material with that show similar striations and stuff. I don't know if it's the same material. And then with the Victor Podolsky paper on terahertz perspectives and left-handed metamaterials of these layers, and what they did with their experiment, it certainly seems like there could be something more to that whole story. And if that's the case, then maybe Tom DeLonge wasn't duped and wasn't part of some disinfo op. But then again, it's like if they have this material, then they've obviously been reverse engineering it. A guy smuggled a couple of pieces of this away from a massive crash site. That means the government's got this craft that this came from, some in a hangar somewhere, which is nuts. And I'm convinced that they could cover it up, no problem. That they have the ability to keep that covered up, and that we'll never ever know. They'll never tell us the truth. There will never be disclosure. There'll never be any way for the powers that be to go after this stuff. Congress's hands are tied. They're going to be fed disinformation. They're already talking to the wrong people, like they got Jeremy Corbell and who knows what the other guys in TTSA are up to with all this. With Elizondo is an interesting individual, and I'm curious. He's going to be back on Theories of Everything with Kurt Jamungle soon, and Kurt, I've been reaching out to for a while, and he says normally I don't invite people on who ask to be on, but he said he's gotten a lot of people who have asked for me to be on the show.
Kurt, you need to have Jeremy on.
Yeah, so he's finally reached out and said, hey, what's up, man? I appreciate, and he said he appreciated my expertise in these subject areas, because he recognizes that I've been dealing with this and doing research into this stuff a lot longer than he has and stuff. So I thought that was cool, man. And so he reached out and he wants to have me on. So I think that's awesome. Props to you, Kurt, and that's hopefully going to happen in May sometime, May or early June, hopefully. So I'm trying to make that happen. That would be awesome to get on there. We've already, he already's been talking about the anti-gravity research of the 1950s, doing more documentaries on that, doing more digging into it. So, he knows now that, we're not just complete pseudoscientists, nut jobs who are in tinfoil hat wearing crazies, lunatics, and that we're actually, legit researchers, and that there's pay dirt here in the research. So that's awesome that he's digging into all that stuff and learning the whole history of all this stuff that's been covered up so completely by the powers that be. Yeah, it's all in the details, man. And it's really the devil is all in the details, man. And you got to make sure you didn't overlook a bunch of stuff, because there's all kinds of people that want to ridicule this and make you look the other way and not dig into it. And, I've been one of those people because of the claims that were made, as far as, with that spaceship that they've touted around and said, that we're going to come out with this technology and we got the real secrets and stuff. And they flouted like they had the secret sauce and took investors' money like they had the secret sauce and they were going to deliver the goods. And at the end of the day, what they delivered is stuff
Where is it?
And I showed that it was, where is it? It's in Paula Violette's book from 2008. That's where it is.
So it's still in a book. They took the money in. It's still in the book.
It's like, man, this is crazy that this is not, there's nothing new that's really been released. But at the same time, maybe they've drawn attention to this because it is legit, or maybe they're drawing attention to this because it's not legit. So maybe we're wasting our time completely on this material, but I think the Victor Podolsky study is the most interesting and the most promising, because if it does turn like into a left-handed metamaterial at certain frequencies, then maybe it is a gravity invisibility cloak. You know what I mean? Like a way to make yourself invisible from gravity, because if gravity operates,
they will never ever let that out to the light of day.
Yeah. And that's super interesting, man. So, oh yeah, and the other thing about Stan Dio, it's funny that Bob Lazar. What's up, Bob? And it's good that you mentioned Stan. So, I'm getting Stan Dio to come on and do an interview. I reached out. I reached out to him.
That's amazing.
And he's down, dude. So yeah, I'm gonna get Stan to come on and do a whole interview and talk about his whole everything. So yeah,
I'll look forward to that.
Good that you mentioned that, because that's another thing to look forward to that's coming up here soon, hopefully in the next few month or so. Yeah, so man, we're doing some amazing work trying to bring all the people that have been a part of this history, because Stan's been doing this since like the 70s or maybe even longer.
Right before we were born.
He's old school. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna get him on to just piece together some of the history of what he knows and what he learned through his years of digging down these rabbit holes, and all the fun that he had with disinfo and distraction agents and just all the nonsense. Oh, was it? He got a Hummer from a female alien in an Australian landfill. What?
That's the story for a Friday night.
Oh, that's the story. I have to get him nice and drunk before I hit him with that one.
All right, that's the closer.
Yeah,
definitely not the opener.
That one's after we smoked the blunt with Elon. Yeah, so maybe I'll give him a bunch of mushrooms like Jeremy Corbell.
Oh my God!
Load it up.
That was one story. I couldn't believe that when you're reading that letter.
I could. It just like it rang so true, and everyone knows it. So,
like, who does that?
Everyone knows it. Oh, look at this. This is Have Blue. That's the F-117 in production. Wow, that's pretty amazing.
That is.
They use DeWalt drills.
That's an advertisement.
Yeah, well,
what are your thoughts on the recent developments with the Graviflyer? It seems like they're getting kind of close. It might actually work.
I don't know, man. I've been skeptical of it from the beginning. So the Graviflyer, I don't know if, there's a couple people working on this. If you look up Graviflyer, they're posting videos on Twitter and stuff too. So a lot of people doing some experiments with this kind of stuff. And, I wish them all luck, man. I really hope that something comes out of it, but I have the real strong feeling that that's like some kind of fake or something, man. Cause it's just like, where is it, dude? Why, if this guy can do it out in the field in Russia, man, then we should be able to do it, man. It looks like he's like got something that's lifting and holding it up on a rig somehow, man.
Yeah.
So, there's got to be some trick to it. I just have a feeling that he's a magician and not a scientist,
I feel you on that. I just so badly want it to be real, but
it's so balanced. But like,
he just touched it there. Like he just.
I know. This is all the compilation videos, dude, and I've seen them over and over.
Like if it's high voltage, how the hell did he touch it and not get shocked to that? Like
So, yeah, you just link up some Tesla coils and you can fly these. This is Tesla technology. Yeah, sure. Look at my magic trick, dude. He's just holding it over the horizontal wire that goes between two trees far off.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's this.
Maybe.
I have a strong feeling there's something else to this flying mushroom device. I don't know. What do you think, Bernie?
I really don't know. Like, there's just so much possibility of it being fake in a string. But there's a channel called Old Man Builds, and he's working with the APEC guys now, like Charlie and Jared and stuff. And he did a video last night describing of how when the magnets get into acoustic resonance, that's when Alexei supposedly pulses the device and what causes the lift. And it's probably the best description I've heard, if it is real, of what the effect might be, but otherwise it's just a string until someone else is able to do it. Static resonance.
Yeah, right. So there's an Indian rope trick. Isn't that like there's like a...
I was just thinking the same thing, Anthony. Like, right, because it's coming up from the wire below. So what's to say that it's not just hardening that wire? I don't know.
Why is he doing it in a forest? He's always doing it in a forest or near trees, man. That's the sketchy thing, is he needs to do it in like where there's no trees, like on the beach.
Yeah.
Do it on the beach.
Fly over some water. A lot harder to do.
Yeah. There's other tricks. I don't know. No, they did not. They got like a little bit of something, they think, from, and they're learning about. They've learned a lot. I mean, we got a Russian interpreter, and we talked with this guy for many hours and stuff, and I think that Charlie even bought some of his old devices and some things off.
Yeah, they bought his most recent device now, one of the ones that he had on the camera.
Dude, you guys got scammed.
It's like, if they can't get that going,
they can't get it going, dude. You can't replicate it, dude. It's gotta be like fraud. But anyways, I it's not the end of the world. Because there's lots of other, stuff out there that does work and could be used for these types of propulsion devices and stuff. So, look at people are doing this in Asia too. So, word's getting out there on these devices. No idea what the Chinese have in terms of these things, man. But I think that's crazy that they're buying up so much farmland, putting agents across the border with the open border crisis, and also building that massive canal that's going to replace the damn Panama. That's crazy.
That's wild if true.
By the way, Jeremy, how's the wife and kids? I loved your old video where she brings you breakfast.
Oh my God, you just got one heck of a donation.
Well, there we go, dude. What the heck? Batfly. Live long and prosper. Excellent. There we go. It's a science, man. $133.70. That's a weird number, man. I'm not getting it. Is there some kind of symbolism in that number? Like, why is such an odd and weird kind of number?
Indeed. To live long and prosper.
We have 223 viewers. So that 322 number, man, is just doing weird things tonight, man. Is that gamer speak?
I don't know. Well, slang for elite and gamer speak, I guess so.
I thought it would be, maybe he meant to make it 137.
No, lots of comments saying elite Game. Slang for elite. So elite. It's slang for elite in gamer speak. Oh man, now I'm feeling all old and shit, not knowing the slang.
That's like a weird slang if it's a number, man. It's just like 133.70. I don't know. I can't find any other references or sources for this, man. So if anyone knows, let me know. 1337. That's old slang.
Jeremy is elite. You're elite. Old slang from the 90s. Shit.
Okay, so look at 1337. Meaning. So 1337X is an online website that provides a directory of torrent files and magnet links used for peer-to-peer file sharing through BitTorrent protocol. LEET or 1337. Oh yeah, so that's it. If you turn 1337 upside down, it says LEET, also known as elite or leet speak, is a system of modified spelling used primarily on the internet. It often uses character replacements.
You're lit, bro. You're lit. Your streams are lit and you're lit. Did you see that one? It was in the Journal of Nature or Journal of Physics, but they recently did a study, I guess, on the it was the S57 or whatever the shuttle mission was with the tether that broke off all those years ago, and then apparently all the plasmas that came up, the UFOs that came up to it. Apparently now there's a study on it by a bunch of different universities claiming that it's plasma life and that the plasmids were acting in manners as other life forms, like eating each other and chasing each other and stuff. It's quite strange.
Interesting.
But it wasn't from NASA. It was just random consortium of different professors from different universities.
Oh, that's cool. You learn something new every day, man. That's far out. Cool stuff, man. I'm glad I'm like too old for this stuff, man. Exactly how I feel. Like I missed that. I was too busy studying physics during those years. But it's nice that you guys
caught it.
We're on CSS and gaming, and I mean, yeah, man, cool stuff.
That's the truth.
Oh, I know some yeah, people donate more weird numbers so that I can try to figure them out, please.
It's all the hidden messaging.
Yes, do it. Anyways, yeah, we're after an hour, so we're gonna open lines to the total disclosure audience. So if you have better information than us dumbasses, come share it.
And if it's legit and you're afraid, you can not show your face and imitate your voice. I don't know. How do we get real leakers on?
They just need to just balls up and just come forward, man, like Eric Hecker did, or these other guys. Just like, and don't, you don't have to, like, if you don't want to reveal your name on air and stuff, and you come out like, you know, you come out to like off air after the stream, but yeah, come on and share some information. I don't know, man. You don't want to get like anyone too serious, because they'll just shut our stream down and send assassins to kill us all for the information that we let out. So, you know, can't be anyone too crazy, but you know.
a almost Snowden.
Yeah. So hey, Paulie's here. Paulie, tell us about yourself.
Hello,
Paulie.
What's up, guys?
What's going on?
Welcome.
What's up?
Paulie, were you the one with the Coral Castle video to share?
Yes, I got something good for you guys.
Oh boy. Is it in the private chat here? What's up? Oh, I see you typed in there. No, they just said what's up. If you have any links, you want me to bring a video up or?
Yeah, let me get a video that I made for you.
Yeah, this is great. This is how you could do disclosure if you really don't have time to come on. You think they're going to shut it all down. You put it all on like a website or a file link where you have a torrent link with the file torrent dump, and you can just come on the backstage like Paulie did and just drop me the file dump, and then leave. Super easy. It's so easy to break down the walls of this government lie and the psyop. And, if you work for them, if you're working for the FBI or any of these corrupt agencies, they will kill you and they don't care. You're completely replaceable and you're a pawn in a much bigger scheme than you could possibly imagine or understand the totality of what's really going on behind the scenes. So you're better off getting out of any kind of situation like that you're in. Exposing your bosses, coming forward is the best, safest thing that you could possibly do for you, your family, and everyone else. There is no pension. There is no future. These people will take all that from you, and you could die at a moment's notice working for them in these types of dangerous operations and investigating, simple, innocent people who are just trying to help the world become a better place and bring technology out that could literally save humanity and, solve the energy crisis, solve global warming, solve all these other major catastrophes that humanity faces right now. And, there's people out there working on these technologies. That there's, I mentioned before, there's national labs. We know many stories of scientists who have been in development of these technologies. They're like afraid to come forward and talk about their work, and it's classified and under ITAR and all these regulations and laws and whatnot. But the reality is that there's a private deep state that has controlled all of our science and managed all of our national laboratories since the 1950s, since the Manhattan Project in the 1940s. Battelle Memorial Institute built the Demon Course for the Manhattan Project, and they run all of our national labs. They have management contracts at all of our national labs. So there's many scientists who have worked at these national labs, probably invented things that could free humanity and change the world. And these disruptive technologies have been taken out, censored, and shut down over the years. And that is the reality of what we're facing and what we're up against. And we need to get to more of these scientists and show them what will happen, show them that they can be safe, they can come forward, they can leak information and be protected under the Whistleblower Act. And sometimes there's not ways to do that. There's not ways to be protected, and you just have to leak everything and it comes straight out.
Jeremy, do you trust the government to uphold the Whistleblower Act with all the stuff that's going on?
I really don't. I think people should ignore all that bullshit, and I think they should leak everything free on the internet as soon as possible, all at once.
Yeah, I 100% thought that Tucker Carlson was going to be arrested when he came back from seeing Putin the other week. I thought for sure they were going to arrest him. They even said they were going to arrest him.
You were threatening him.
Yeah, a law firm said, you're going to be arrested. And I was like, wow, he's going to jail. He hasn't yet, right? But you watch something happen in the Trump campaign, and all of a sudden they wait down the road and say, hey, you did this wrong there. You did this wrong there. You did this illegal. Now we're putting you in jail, Tucker Carlson. They can wait. They don't have to do it right now. But they can do it right in the middle of the campaign, because I'm telling you, whether you realize it or not, Tucker Carlson is up there for his VP. Wouldn't that be something to interrupt the campaign by saying, hey, guess what? Your VP's a Russian agent. Right?
That would be something else for sure.
Hopefully not what happened.
Yeah.
All right, Paul, you got the videos up for us?
Yes, yes, sir. So check this out, guys. Look, hear me out.
All right,
Because,
Chloe, what's up, buddy?
okay, so you can hear me, right?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay,
yes,
thank
sir.
you. So here's the deal. I understand now that there's probably many ways to deal with gravity and anti-gravity. And one of the things that you can do that some or methods that is available is to, manipulate the particles in the outer shell of whatever you're trying to make levitate, like in the air, right? But then there's another aspect that you can actually mess with the particles that create the actual object themselves. And I truly believe that that's what Edward Lee Scouten was doing for levitating his rocks, because he was actually working with large pieces of mass, masses of rock. So I just made this video here that we're watching is just to show you that he had a lot of these bottles, and there was a video I had showed prior that shows a guy that saw that there was a bottle stuck into the rocks, and each rock has a perfect hole in the middle. Each of his squared rocks has a hole, and so I think that my theory is that he was dousing them with acid. And if you look at all these videos I made, you'll understand a little bit more. So that's just the first one. It's just showing you there's a bottle there stuck to his machine as well. So I'm pretty sure he was using it as a battery. I zoomed in on him as well. And so he's getting extra electrical power from that bottle, because it's like a battery. He's got acid in there. He's got probably magnesium. So that's something important to that machine as well, because it's actually producing electricity for him as well. And here's that video.
Okay, this is John Killen. I'm sitting here at this turning rock, this turnstile. I'm looking at this blowhole where the bottle's missing. I thought maybe the bottle was like some kind of thing like this, but that's not true. It's really a jug, like a whiskey jug. And this piece right here is the finger hole, the little finger grabber. So if you put a shade there, you can see that if I sit there and if I shine the light down there, can you see that? See up here? The glass loop goes all the way around. It's already there. So all they did was broke off the top, the lip part of the bottle. That's all they broke off. And you can see that it goes all the way around and down, and they're going to empty this out. I just showed them this, freaked them out. So they got interested in this. So anyway, that's where that's it. So then this lines up with this little piece right there. There's a little sight niche right there, which also then lines up with.
So here he talks about the 3 types of acid that he used.
I have been watching while acid takes in parts of zinc and many other things. Everything is taken into parts by acid. The first thing I see is a very small bubble beginning to come out of the matter. When the first bubble appears, then a succeeding bubble are coming out of the first bubble and are running or coming out in a regular line, one after another. When the first bubble swells up, then it contracts in the middle.
Hey guys.
And cuts off a new bubble. And then it closes up and the outgoing in, and then swells up again and goes over and over again. These bubbles that leave the first bubble act like small magnets, and some appear to have magnet poles. Most of the bubbles join the other bubbles, and some of the bubbles absorb many other bubbles before they themselves burst and disappear. When the zinc is taken into parts by acid, the magnets which hold together the zinc go into bubbles, and when the bubbles burst, the magnets go into the air in the Earth's general circulation, back where they came from in the first place. But if the zinc is in the battery, then the magnets go into the battery's terminal. I only use 3 kinds of acids: hydrochloric, sulfuric, and nitric, but used many kinds of matter to experiment with. For the best results, different matter needs different acid to dissolve it, but every kind of matter produces bubbles, and each kind of bubble smells differently. Acid.
Okay.
What is acid? And what gives the acid the ability to take the other matter in parts? For instance, zinc acid and the bubbles that are coming out of the zinc are held together by themselves by the same kind of north and south pole magnets. And why acid, which is one kind of matter, can take another kind of matter in parts. The acid atoms must have a smaller orbit and a few magnets in it than the other matter that it takes in parts. So he's saying the smaller the orbit, will be able to take over any other kind of matter. Same molecules being different size.
Exactly. So basically, he's talking about he's changing the density of the rock. That's how you change the density.
Huh.
And to me, in reality, that little booklet that Vinnie Vincent was reading to me, that's the his what's it called, that word, his confession, because he starts it off like I clearly felt it, and I saw that that's Edward Lee Scownan's confession on how he lifted those rocks, because he starts off the sentence with, "I have been working with acid," and I was just like, so if you play the second video, you will see undeniable proof that there's a lot of like residue left over from the acid he used on each of his rocks. I made a video montage of that as well.
Sorry, I just found that video while your other one was playing. So there's no more reading in this one, right?
No, just photos and zooming in. And I just want you to see how it's perforated. Almost all the rocks are perforated. Look at where they're perforated. They're colored. They're a different color. And I also even looked online to see what kind of discoloration does that acid that he used was. I forgot what they are. He just explained them. But sure enough,
nitric acid, sulfuric, and hydrochloric.
Sulfuric. There you go.
What year would these cuts have been done? That's what I want to know. How long ago?
In the 1940s.
In the 1940s? Okay. I thought we were dealing with something a little older than that. Far older.
Yeah, well, he claims that he's found out how the Egyptian pyramids were moved. So
is that why he did that? He did that to prove it?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So it's a modern hypothesis.
Look at that. Just look at that.
It's a modern theory of something we think is 2,500 years old, is what you're saying.
The methodology is what he says.
Because they say that the pyramids of Egypt were done 2,500 BC. I don't know if I believe that or not. I believe it might be way longer ago than that. 2,500 BC just doesn't seem to cut it to me.
The pyramids, yeah.
You know,
there's staining on the rocks.
Yeah. There's a sulfuric acid, huh?
Sulfuric acid decay, huh?
Might work for it, huh?
Even that shape right there is actually on his rocks as well, like the same type of color discoloration. And another thing I want to point is it's exactly underneath those holes. Like if he had a bottle in there and it was dripping out, and I mean it's just like, it's overwhelming. I'm just like, bro, he was dousing them. Plus, why would he even talk about it in the book that he's been working with acid? And he explains to you how it actually works with the particles, and he calls them magnets. So look at that one. That's like so like obvious. Look at those discolorations in the back, that hole in the middle. Look at that. It's not even supposed to be like that. If they were all just regularly moved, they would have been clean as a top part. But they're all dirtied up. They all have that stain from the acid. It's just
sure. Wow. Oh, wow. Here, reverse engineering.
See it in person, man. These photos are like real rendered, and they have a lot of pixelation in them, man. That's been a lot of.
What I would love to do is actually go in person and scrape off all that edge. That's what I would do. I would take a nice knife and get me like plastics and just scrape some of that and have it tested.
we should all plan
That's real science
down there, and we'll have Danny come up from Tampa, and we'll all take a tour of the Coral Castle together and do a video.
Yeah.
Look at that one. That one's like obvious. It's dripping out of that hole. All that coloration is coming from that hole, like it's dripping out of it. It's crazy.
It's like he was seeding the rock, like, because it's coral, so it's like a porous rock. So it's like he put a hose in the rock and just poured a bunch of acid into it, and then like maybe that changes it somehow that he can do whatever with it. I don't know.
And lastly, Jeremy, I just want to say one last theory that I have that might help the audience, the viewing audience as well. And I explained it to a few people that were here on your chat one day, and they were all amazed as well. But I wanted to say that that apparently what causes gravity is the intersecting lines of the invisible spectrum of light that's coming from the sun, and they crisscross each other, and apparently they create these little a little subatomic particle there. The thing is that since it's like laser light and it's bouncing and going in a circle, it creates a lot of these particles in the air that stick in there like nodes. And I believe that's what's causing the gravity. It causes everything to stay because there's a relational proportion to these particles that are created by the crisscrossing of the what do you call it, of the light that comes in. So basically gravity is just light and matter. That's all it is. It's just two parts. The thing is that we need to learn how to manipulate those actual nodes that are already there. And if you want to picture what it looks like the flower of life. And the flower of life, I think that's what it's showing, because you see these little nods and you see these crisscrossing lines like a flower, and it just keeps on going and going. So there's like a field of particles that are already stuck like that, and they don't move. They're just stuck like that, and that's what causes everything to pretty much hold everything together.
It looks like the E8 pattern there that Garrett Lisi put together. It's a crazy geometry.
Exactly.
We have Batfly. Is that the Batfly that you donated?
Looks like the same avatar.
The fucking Batfly. Excuse me.
Avatar, man. Yeah, Batfly, dude. He gave us. Let me find the super chats. Let me go back.
Batfly with the elite donation.
My bad, Batfly.
Thank you
What's
to Harry
up, brother?
Till for the $10 super chat earlier on. I don't think I read this one because
good old Batfly.
Here in Seattle, many businesses tried staying open during the lockdowns. Washington Attorney General Bob Ferguson with ruthless to business. He's running for governor. I hope he loses, man. Like all those people that pushed the lockdowns and went like after shutting all the businesses down, all those people need to go. That's terrible what they did.
Yeah, man. I am all for the small businesses. I feel as though they are owed a big money. They should have lawsuits against the federal government. Those lawsuits should be. Lawsuit. You know, when these attorneys get on TV and they are like, "Hey, have you ever tried the drug minoxidil or something like that?" I'm just saying that as a drug. I don't know, and it made your hair go gray or something like that. Call us attorneys here at Finkelstein and whatever or other. How comes they don't have class action lawsuits against the government when it comes to all these businesses that went under? New York City lost 5,000 in one day. 5,000 small businesses like coffee shops, donut shops, your corner meat stores gone. If you notice now, what's the craziest thing there is to say about this is this. Not too long ago, I was in New York. And the places that used to be of Italian descent shocked the absolute crap out of me. They are now of, guess what? They're of Middle Eastern descent. How's that possible? That's who we went to war with. Where are they getting their money at to open stores up down there?
Well, I don't know.
How times change, right?
Hey, Paulie, thanks for the $5 too, brother. And Batfly, good to have you with us. Thanks for the
absolutely, guys. Gary Toll, thank you for the info and stuff. Yeah, man. Jeremy can use those donations right now. It's that time of the year. He's got a lot of kids.
Yeah, well, I got to get my taxes done and everything.
Yeah, Spring's here. Jeremy, Jeremy, you know what? I'm scared to do mine. I'm going to owe money again this year.
Yeah,
man.
I don't get money back either. It's one of those two for me. It's just
last year, I think it was $6,000 I had to pay.
So it's always like time to pay out my ass. All the money I thought I made, I just handed all.
Yeah.
All the money
the state owed me a couple of hundred, and I owed the feds $8,000.
You don't owe them. They stole it from you. But you have
well, the lady said that they're not taking enough money out of my account or something, and I was like, well, why not? She said, we'll figure that out. And here they just didn't take hardly anything out, dude. That's why I owed that kind of money. They hardly took any money out.
Well, I'm going to have to pay the extortionists soon too. So thank you for that donation.
Remember, it's illegal for them to come after you for the money. You're not allowed to violate your rights.
Yep. Hey, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to take this up a notch a little bit more? I have some extra information I can share with you that you can check out.
Heck yeah, man! I mean, this is good stuff. I'm big into all this coral casket. I still have never gone there, and it's on my list of places to see before I die. So definitely.
All right. I have a question for you. Have you found out yet, or do you know anything about the Taygetan team? It's called Taygeta.
Like T-Y.
T-E-Y. T-E-Y. G-E-T-A. Taygeta.
Taygeta, man.
Taygeta. Oh, it's T-A-Y. My bad. Yeah. T-A-Y-G-E-T-A.
Taygeta podcast?
No, it's on YouTube. It's under Cosmic Agency.
I was going to say, it's the name of the new Toyota electric truck, isn't it? I'm serious. Or the Porsche electric car. My fault.
Like
Cosmic Agency.
These guys.
Correct. Okay, you see those people on top, and yes, the women are really nice looking. They are the ones that seeded this Earth, man. They are already in contact. They're already in contact, and they're revealing everything about gravity and anti-gravity. I wanted to share this earlier, but
man. They can come over to my house anytime.
Yeah.
No, my wife would have to approve.
Exactly.
Heck, if they're aliens, man.
Oh yes, dude. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry that I didn't bring this ahead, but I mean the cat's out of the bag now.
Oh, I gotta have them on the podcast now, man. I mean,
the cat's out of the bag now, man. But if you go into the videos and look at something that explains how their ships work, oh my gosh, they're explaining everything. And I've actually been watching them videos for about a year, and I've actually
play one.
Look for a well, I mean they okay, look, they explain.
Are they really this hot?
Let's hear it, bro.
Yes,
let's hear it.
Yes, that's why we got the beauty here on Earth. That's why there's even beauty here on Earth, because of them, because of their genes.
Really? They're like,
can we watch it, or
you came and fucked your
they don't look like us. They don't look like us. We look like them.
They're all white.
Dark
complexion.
We all look like robust Australopithecines.
We're all
there's a reason. There's a reason for that. It's because
came and seeded us.
Yeah, the reason for the way they look is because
this is a conspiracy I can get behind.
Hell yeah, brother.
They what do you call it? The reason they look that way is because they don't have what do you call it? They have replicators to make their food, so they eat healthy stuff. They don't have what do you call it? Dirty stuff, or you know what I mean by dirty? I mean like
grown in dirt.
They have filters.
Filters, yes, and they also use they have
a replicator. They don't have to
correct
mushrooms that taste like earth.
Exactly, or have any
kind of that flavor.
So you mean to tell me that these people can come at 10,000 billion light years and they fly and they land on somewhere, and they have these filter systems on their mouths where they go down to grab something to eat, and this is great if you ask me, and they instantly can tell if the stuff's garbage or not by the way their filter reacts. Like it says, oh, it's good for you, then you go to eat it and it tastes terrible and they spit it out anyway. Is that how the filter system works on one of these aliens?
No, not at all. They're human just like us. They just don't mess with that stuff at all. They don't touch it. They do their own. They have their own stuff, and it's they don't have pollution. It's not polluted. That's what I'm trying to say. They don't have pollution. They're way more advanced.
Okay.
Nice. What they do have real quick, what they do have is this thing called medical pods where it's filled with liquid, and they have to drown themselves, so they do have to die inside of the liquid, but their heart is kept alive, their heart is kept beating, and then they let like these they let the little machines go inside of the water, and it goes inside of their skin, in their lungs, and everywhere, because the water's already inside that liquid, kind of like when you're a baby in your mom's womb, like you're in the amniotic fluid, it's in your lungs, it's everywhere, you're not breathing, you're still in the water, and that's how they do it, so they can reverse the aging.
Embryonic fluid, right? That's, you can actually breathe it in. You can breathe on underwater in embryonic fluid. It will actually like carry the oxygen, and
but you do have to drown first. If you're alive and you're barely going to go in there for a treatment, you're going to have to.
You got to drown in it first, man. Then when you cough,
they say they say that sometimes the body
comes out of the baby's lungs when it comes out. Too.
Sometimes you can see the reaction in their bodies drowning, like they'll you know what I mean, right? They'll do convulsions, they'll have convulsions for a little bit, and then they're gone, and then they start working on their bodies, and they can be in there, they can grow a whole limb back. If you lost a whole arm, they just grow it back.
Wow, that would be great.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be great.
So
that would be great.
If you like that, then if you go through all their videos, they're in contact with one guy from America. He's an American white boy. He's an older man. I think his name is Dale Harder. Harder as in like hard, like hard rock, but harder.
Are you joking? Dale Harder?
Dale Harder, yeah. They're giving him all the info so that he's trying to get money to build one of those.
Okay, I'm sorry. My mind went to the gutter. I thought you said something a little bit modified than that. But okay, we'll go with that. I thought you almost said video, dude.
Hola a todos. Aquí en este punto me gustaría recalcar un punto muy importante.
So she does both. She's bilingual.
Muchos fans
she
de
does
Star
both
Trek
English and Spanish.
Apareció en Star Trek. Pero hay que estresar algo súper importante aquí, que la primera directiva es algo real, a base de cual se formó el concepto de la primera directiva en la serie. No fue al revés. No fue al revés. La primera directiva existe.
No offense to her, man, but the chicks in the other picture on the first page,
Yeah. Hey, Jeremy,
they have braces.
A word to the wise. If that chick right there is involved, it's bullshit. She used to have bright red hair, and I'm trying to think of who she used to hang around with, but she's been involved with scams and stuff like that for a long time, brother. I'm telling you. Yes, she has.
Yeah, I think it's the wrong chick, for real. Like, seriously.
Aliens, man. All right. I love how we started off with some science and like some talking about acids and rocks and changing properties and stuff. But this, like,
I'm just saying, I know her as a fraudster. I'm trying to think of where I know what exactly I know her from. I will find it. She rolls Poland.
Are you serious, dude? You used to date this chick?
No. I know that face. She used to have bright red. If anybody else can tell me who that is, she used to have bright red hair, and she rolled with somebody. I'm trying to think of who it is right now. She was partners with this person for a long time.
They're the ones. They're the Taigetans.
Where are they? Do they have videos?
It's another Corey Good bullshit thing, man.
No, they're in contact with her and some other few people, and they communicate through internet, through chat room, and they.
That's the same girl.
How is that possible? These are two different historical time periods.
Okay, there she is, the blonde hair.
Strange.
But
sorry, guys, I got to go. Thank you for having me on.
She has red hair, dude. It's a totally different chick. I know who she is. I gotta look her up. I'm looking for her right now.
I don't know, man. This is like too far out for me, man. But.
Exactly. You don't do stuff like this, Jeremy.
Hey, Jeremy. What I wanted you to do just quickly is click on the videos where it says videos and just choose one about anti-gravity, and you will see. You go into videos and then just scroll and look for something that has to deal with anti-gravity.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I watched some anti-gravity videos, man, but I don't want to like advertise this until I know what I'm dealing with, man. I don't want like this to end up being like Heaven's Gate cult. And then
I hate to do this, but I'm gonna have to go into. I know exactly who to get a hold of. Jimmy Church's crowd will know exactly who she is.
I just don't want to be, you know, and don't drink the Flavor Aid if they offer it to you and say that the comet's taking you all to heaven.
Of course not. That's not what they're about, to be
Well,
honest.
I just want to make sure it sounds.
Yeah, they're about making money, brother. They're about making paper, and that's all they're about.
Oh, yeah. Cool, man. Yeah, paper. Well, I'm not about making paper, man. All the money that gets donated to our lab and our thing goes right towards research and experiments and fun and stuff. So we got a lot of. We're working with trying to get a vacuum chamber to do the Biefeld-Brown experiment for that 50K challenge that was in Jesse Michaels' film about the Biefeld-Brown.
Oh yeah, that looks pretty cool. Okay.
Yeah, man.
I'm supposed to be a part of that too, if I remember right. I got some stuff. Jesse Michael might have the fucking name I need of that woman there. Okay, I'm getting somewhere now. Okay, there she is. Yes, she has done some stuff with Linda Howe.
Any questions, Batfly, man? Well, I got you here, man. I know you.
I just enjoy the conversation so far.
Awesome, cool, man. Yeah. Feel free to throw something in the mix if you want, man. I don't want to go back down that. I'm gonna go. I'll check that stuff out at a later time, Simon. Man, I just a little skeptical of some of these people and these agencies.
I lost your picture and everything now. I can't fucking find it.
They really were aliens, man. Imagine if aliens just came down. They're like, hey, you know, we're too much of pussies to come and land on the White House and make real contact. We will come on YouTube and do a bunch of videos.
I have a question.
Paulie, what is that girl's name by any chance? Can you give that to me?
Yeah, Gosia. 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 Gosia.
Wait. G-O-S-I-A. G-O-S-I-A. If I'm wrong, I will apologize, but G-O-S-I-A. Okay, guys, go ahead. I'm not going to bother you.
And how about this, dude? Anyone see this? I didn't even know this was up. It's got 3.8 million views from 2 years ago, and it was posted by Barely Sociable, and it talks about the scientists that discovered anti-gravity and then disappeared completely, an unsolved mystery. And it's all about Ning Li, and it doesn't...
I was going to say, it's about an Oriental lady, right?
It's about Ning Li, yeah, man. So I made a comment on here, dude, and it got 557 views. It's one of the top. It was one of the top comments. I don't know if it still is. It's one of the top.
Jeremy, can you send me the link for that? Because I saw that this morning, and I don't know where I saw it at, and could not find it again.
Please go check that out and watch it again and find my comment on there, and please like it and respond to the people on there, because I got people on there saying that I'm just trying to get attention and that I'm full of shit and like
no, you don't know. Where can I find the link at, bro?
I just posted it. It's there. It's up on the screen right now, so it's in the.
Okay. See, I'm looking at it through my phone, and I can't. Hold on a minute here. I can't really see.
Well, it's in the live chat, and I'll post it as a comment.
There, I got it. I got it now. I got it, brother. And Paulie, I didn't mean to piss you off, man.
Hells no, you didn't. No, it's all good, man. We're here just to have a chat and have a good time.
Bro, you'd be surprised. Ask Jeremy. I have an insane memory. You'd be surprised, man. I'm like a savant. I sometimes will see somebody and then not pay any attention to them, and like 5 years later can make out who they are, remember exactly what they were doing, and all this weird stuff. Like 5 years prior, I know that face, and I know that face, man. But I want to make sure that I have it wrong is what I'm trying to do right now, is to phase her out. So, yeah, I'm going to work on this discovery thing on the anti-gravity.
I wanted to say that the best thing that I love that they shared with people is how they blew up a water world planet that we used to have in our solar system that was in between Mars and Jupiter. And sure enough, that's where you have the asteroid belt. So I was like, okay, I mean, you know, I wanted to research it to see if these guys are even true, right? And one thing led to another, and it just blew my mind. Because one, they also said that it used to have a moon and that it survived the explosion because they blew it up. That's the asteroid belt. That's the debris of a planet that used to be there in between. There was a war, like a star war, between those people, those good-looking people, the Taygetians, and some reptilians. And what happened was that they blew it up, and sure enough, there's a they call it the dwarf planet. NASA doesn't want to know, because NASA doesn't know that it's a moon. So, you know, there's a planet, there's a moon in there. It's called Ceres. So then I was like, okay, well, let me take a look at a picture of Ceres, and sure enough, it looks almost exactly like our moon. They look like twins, like if they were from the same mother. I'm just saying, like from the moon. And apart from that, I also researched the Maya used to talk about a second sun that we used to have. Something about the destruction of the second sun, and it turns out that this planet that they blew up was a water world. It had pure water in it and a few islands only. So it actually reflected the sun's light, and from here on Earth, it would look like a sun. It looked like we had two suns, except for one was the reflection of the sun from a water world, and the other one was the actual sun. And they blew it up. And Ceres looks exactly like our moon. It looks like a moon, and
so they took a rock like Ceres and brought it and made it and brought it to the Earth and to stabilize it. I mean, what was the point?
Oh yeah, our moon was made for that, exactly, to stabilize it. However, this moon belonged to that one planet, and they blew it up, and it still survived the explosion, and it's stuck inside of the debris, inside of the what's it called, that belt, the asteroid belt. And another last thing is, like, just the location alone of the asteroid belt should tell everybody when you see a map of it, it's like, hey, that's not right. I mean, something's not. I mean, if they were so common, then there would be one in between Neptune and the other planets, and you know. But no, this is just right there, and you don't get any other kind of debris until you go to the way out there
Cloud,
in
yeah.
Pluto. So yeah, that to me, that I mean, 1,000 coincidence isn't a coincidence, and that's a saying that I made myself. I made it myself. 1,000 coincidence isn't a coincidence anymore. It's because it's probably factual. And
yeah, it's old. It's an old idea, I know, but.
And the Maya called it the destruction of the second sun. It was a water world, and it used to reflect the sunlights. And from here on Earth, it would look like another spot there of
So
another
you're
sun.
saying there's more truth to that whole Alderaan story that we were hinted at in Star Wars?
Oh yeah, they already said. I mean, that's what I'm telling you. That Cosmic Agency, they go into depth and give all these juicy details. That's why I love it. And I don't just talk about it before I
there is like a gap
research.
in the planets. It's like, you know, it's like kind of like there's a big gap there between Mars.
Oh my gosh, I forgot to tell you another juicy detail about that. And then they said that water seeped into Earth, I mean, into the space, and it reached a couple of planets, including Earth. And that's where they said that was the Great Flood. So, I mean, it just blows my mind. It's so overwhelming for me because, like I said again, 1,000 coincidence isn't a coincidence. That's where the Great Flood came from. That's why there was all the water that came from that one planet. They said it was the size of Jupiter, so it does make sense that there would be a lot of water, because Jupiter is a big planet. And imagine a planet just mostly water, the size of Jupiter, with just a few scattered islands, and then the water seeping into space after they blew it up. Of course, it was bound to reach Earth, and of course, it was going to come in from the heavens, and that's why we have the Great Flood.
Well, man, in that mix of acids, there wasn't any lysergic acid.
Who knows about that one?
Have you heard of the Thunderbolts Project?
Because, man, I'd have to take a lot of hits to believe any of that.
Have you heard of the Thunderbolts Project?
Yeah, for fuck's sake.
Hello, can you hear me?
Man. But yeah, I mean, thanks. But yeah, it's like, where do you send the money? Send that money to Bali, man, if you want.
Bob Lazar needs it.
Ice meteors hypothesis.
Yeah, he needs the fucking money, Jared.
Oh man, it's cool.
He needs it for Imperium, bro.
I love it when it gets crazy and goes off the deep end, man. It would be even cooler if we had some guy coming in here like freaking Dan Burrish claiming that he's, you know, making bioweapons for the government, or, you know, some crazy factory or something.
Dude, funny you mentioned Mr. Daniel Burrish. Someone the other night tried to get me to get hold of him. I said, we're wasting time. I said, let's try it, though. I said, every now and then the guy will show up. So I get my breathing gear out and I send everything up to where he lives, apparently on the top floor. She gave him the respirator and he breathed through that and breathed out through it. And Ford was very against it. He said, You know, he'd rather breathe through that than what we have down here on the streets. It's much better than what's in his car, blah, blah, blah. Well, I couldn't get the dude to come out, man. I tried. You can only do so much, but he is around still. He has not moved out of the country. So I don't know. I hear people laughing. What's going on, dude?
Hey,
let's get Dan Burrish on, bro. I'm sorry. Sometimes I get silly myself, but Dan Burrish is a legend, and it's fun to talk to him. Jeremy, do you remember that time that he had that like perfect, either a sound machine or something, man, playing behind him that sounded like he was
there for that. You told me about it, man. It's like he had like a whole soundboard of sounds and like made up a whole story about like being at Area 51 and like, oh, the chopper flying over me. Yeah,
we had talked on Friday afternoons, me and Dan, right? And I used to call him on a cell phone that I found out was his daughter's cell phone. And she was like 18 or something like that, and he was in trouble with her. And he would just have me call on her cell phone number. And it was so funny when he would answer the phone, he would go, identify. That's how Dan talked, you know, real loud and stuff, you know. So I called and he went, identify. I'm like, dude, don't you have my number by now? You know, I talked to him like 50 times. So anyways, he's like, I got something weird going on here, Dan. Let me call you back. So he calls me back like 15 minutes later. And he goes, you are so privileged today. He goes, you, my friend, are going to be able to listen to a ride. He goes, from the base, he said, here at McCarran, he said, we're taking the, I forget what the name of the terminal was, he called it. They have the terminal, it goes to group.
Janet terminal?
Yes, the Janet terminal was going to, it was supposed to go to the, oh man, darn it, the Area 51 spot up there, but he claimed it was going to land at Papoose first and all this stuff. It was really weird what he was saying. Didn't make any sense, but I'll just say this much, man. This thing, there were some things happening in the middle of the air, but this thing landed, and he was like yelling at people and stuff, and I could hear this going on. It was really bizarre, dude. And he had disappeared a couple of times, so he was in the bathroom. Anyways, man, he gets off the plane and all kinds of stuff is going on. And I'll just say this much, man. He had me fooled pretty good. And ever since then, I've just been like, was he bullshitting or not? Was he bullshitting or not? Well, the story was confirmed by somebody else that they talked to. And they were like, are you the guy that talked to him when he went to Groom Lake? I'm like, yeah, I was, man. He goes, yeah, he told me that really happened. And he was the one on the other end and all this and that. I said, well, of course he was. I said, yeah, it was definitely me, man. I said, it scared the crap out of me. I said, because it was just so bizarre. But yeah, he supposedly took me from the southern part of Las Vegas. I forget what that town is, one over Las Vegas.
Do you hear that opening up Nye Canyon? I heard they're opening it up so you can hike out the Papoose Lake now.
Well, dude, let me tell you something. If they do that, then we're going out there. I want to take a high-powered telescope. We'll be able to get excellent pictures. You'll be able to, if Nye Canyon's open, you'll be able to take pictures right of the portion of Papoose Lake where Bob Lazar claimed to have been. Now, they'll just say, oh, they dug the sand up and filled it in. You know, I will disagree with that because you'll be able to tell if the land was disturbed and all that. So, dude, we should go for a hike. My buddy has a beautiful home out there, man. Real nice guy. We could crash out there. He's got a studio to jam guitar and stuff. We could crash out there probably for free, man. You know what I mean? Unless we could crash at a hotel out there for free somewhere nice. You know, these hotels out there are pretty damn cool, man. You know, if we could do that, that'd be
good. We're gonna have to crash out in the desert, hike out there, and put a tent with a tent. Maybe we can. I think you can actually. We can maybe get like one of those campers on a truck and bring the camp, like drive a truck out there.
Oh, dude. Yeah, listen, I know a guy that has one. The problem is getting the dude. Every time I know somebody that goes somewhere with a camper and stuff, the camper like dies on the way there or on the way back or something, and then they owe the guy for the camper and all that stuff. That's the only thing that worries me If you think we can get a camper and make it back, I'll have to ask around. I know a guy that has a setup, and I can ask to rent it for like a month and see what it says. You know, he has a car lot and all that. So, would you be game?
Yeah, man. That'd be cool.
Okay. Yeah, man. Listen, we need to do that. I need to do that before. I'm supposed to get back to work this week, but if for something like that, I could probably take a leave of absence, and maybe. Yeah, man. Yes, you are exactly right, Jeremy. We need to stay out in the country. We need to stay out there. We need to take like 6 or 8 people with us. That would be absolutely epic, dude.
Yeah, man. Bring a whole crew out there. Well, maybe we can even advertise for it and charge for it. Like,
We'll
like
put a keg of beer there, man. Scientists have arrived. Yeah.
Hey, Steve Greer does it with those CE5 expeditions. Why couldn't we do it with an expedition out to fucking Papoose Lake where the S4 was?
Who does it again? Stephen who?
Stephen Greer with the friggin' CE5 expeditions.
Oh,
right?
yeah, I believe that. Yeah, but he's a popular weirdo, though, man. You know, it's a different. Listen, if his crowd comes out, I'm running. Okay, they're weird, dude.
Yeah.
They'll try to sleep with us, you know. They're really strange, bro. They will, dude. I'm not joking. Ask Jeremy, he'll tell you.
Wow, these are benches. They're for viewing the atomic test sites. You can go out to these.
No way. Wow, I got to see that, man. Well, I did see the other day Hey, did you see Area 51 Ryder went and took pictures of all the new fences and all the new the stuff that you're talking about that they put up? Yeah. He was just there a month ago for he was there in February for the rides that they do where they threaten to jump over the wall and all that stuff, and there ain't no wall, you know. He took a bunch of pictures and stuff. Yeah, man. Huh.
That was them out there, man. They brought the whole army out there and just sat there and watched them blast off nukes out in the.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome, man. Yeah. Yeah. All right, man. I guess I'm gonna go. Yeah, dude. We'll get in touch tomorrow.
Yeah.
What's that, buddy?
This is India Springs, so it's just a little north of Las Vegas. We drive up 95 out of Las Vegas and until we hit Mercury after India Springs, and then we get off the road there and see how far we can go off road. I mean, it seems like this canyon, Nye Canyon, goes all the way up through here, so we can.
Nye Canyon, I think goes.
Looks like there's roads, man. I mean, there's like, it looks like there's roads.
Yeah, that has to be the Czar's.
We can take that road all the way out there, man. We'll get right out there. We'll take a picture. I'll go right where Lazar said that hangar friggin' was in the side of the mountain. We'll stand down there, show where we are, and even send a drone. We'll have to bring a drone out with us too. We'll have to get a nice drone so we can fly it real up high and get like a far out shot showing right where we are. And show everybody that there's never was a base out there.
Yeah.
I would love to see for myself.
Yeah, you know, Jeremy, you and I we talked to the pilot. His name, a very nice guy. His name was what was that pilot's name that flew out there in Area 51?
Gabe Zeifman.
Gabe Zeifman. You can memorize it. I can't. Okay, so we got Gabe Zeifman. I have not talked to him in a long time, but I will say this. There for a while, I was like, I totally forgot even talking to him and everything. And I was like, Gabe Zeifman, we got to tell Steve about this. Told Steve, and Steve was just like, you know, and we got all those pictures off that guy. That guy right there, he is a serious alien digger. For real.
Rock Road. All right, so there's a whole airport out here, and then this goes up to Mercury. What's Mercury though? That's just a
Mercury goes to Mercury Camp. Camp Mercury would have been where they tested the nukes in front of the guys in the 60s. We had the first test in 59.
So this has got to be Camp Mercury right here.
Yep. Camp Mercury is kind of a dangerous place. How do they have people still going to Camp Mercury, or do they bypass it a little bit and then go into Camp Mercury, or is it stabilized?
These places seem like they're open. The Nye County Sheriff's Office. I mean, you could try calling these places.
Nye County, yeah. You know what? They'll have all the information you need. I will call Nye County Sheriff's Department, and the Nye County Courthouse has all the info you need.
Yeah, we're gonna be calling in the morning, man, and find out.
Well, I can tell you this right now: Nye County Sheriff's Department, just to fucking avoid any kind of trouble, they'll tell you not to come here, because that's what they did with that damn. We had a oh man, somebody was riding a Splinter or something one time. A Splinter.
Dude, there's checkpoints here too. The checkpoint.
Oh, is there? Yeah, I guarantee you there is. Just like where you go to Groom Lake at Area 51, for the simple fact that you just can't go and do what you normally do there. You can't. It's impossible.
Well, this all opens up right here. I mean, this is a bench for viewing these atomic tests, and this is where this is the Frenchman Flat. I think they built a whole city here and then blew it up, right?
Yeah, dude, Frenchman Flat. I would love. They have a tour you can take, man. Remember we were watching that tour last year that you can take, and they take people through these cities and stuff like that and show them what's going on. I would love to do that, but the simple fact is, I don't know if you can just go buy tickets and stand there and wait, or if you got to go buy tickets and then come back another day.
They built like a whole city here, like a whole town out in the desert, and this was all that was left of the bank was the vault.
Yeah.
After the nuclear blast, man, the nuke just like took the whole bank out, and
wow.
Yeah, they built a whole city out here, and then they blew it up, man. Frenchman Flat. It's
oh man, gosh.
Just to see what so they know like what the destruction would be, you know.
Jeremy, now I kind of feel guilty about this whole fight. This whole fight. I'm talking about this arm wrestling thing I got involved. I'm sorry. I keep getting distracted. I'm doing two things at once. I'm getting rid of the arm wrestling thing. Goodbye, everybody. Hang on, Jeremy. People are asking about this arm wrestling crap going on. Hold on. Okay, that's all.
I don't know what that is, man. But
it's pro arm wrestling, and believe it or not, somehow I got involved in it. It's crazy, man. I'm stupid. I put some money in this thing, which helped produce it. So what is your goals for what's coming up as far as this summer, man? I mean, we should line something up. We never do. We need to get Lazar involved with whatever we do. How can we get to him? Can we get to him through the little through our little friend? You know who I mean by that?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's already seen he's interested in the whole Ricardo Storti thing and the science and stuff. So he's seen. I think I've sent those videos his way. We'd had that interview I had recently with Ricardo.
Okay.
You know, so he knows about that stuff. I'm hoping that Project Gravidor addresses some of those science questions and some of the science that was brought up. That would be.
We just need to let him know that we're keeping in the open mind, because I swear that if Bob's story is correct, it's where I showed you on the north end of Papoose Lake. I think it's right there. I think it's on the north end. That's my opinion.
Pluto test bunker.
Test bunker.
That's awesome, dude.
What's that?
All the stuff that's out here. This is Yucca Flat. This is right where they used to blast all the nukes off, right out here. So this is where you drive up and you'd have a bench. This is where you'd sit and view it all from, right out. This is a view right out to Yucca Flat, man. And this is all, I think this is all cordoned off. You can't go out there, right? It's too it's way too radioactive, everything. And this is like all the blowover goes right over these mountains, right to Papoose Lake, which is right there. I mean, here's all the atomic craters from the nukes that they blasted off. And then there's Papoose Lake. So we're going to have to get respirators. And if we go out there, man, I don't want to breathe any of that dust in. That's like cancer, man.
Yeah. Right there at that hook is where they all supposedly stay. Right there. See that round hook? Supposedly that's where they all used to stay. And that little area has changed from time to time. I think there's something goes on in there. I think they light fireworks off in there.